Welcome, I'm from HUAWEI MatePad Pro, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a brief overview of the device. So this is the box that it comes in. Now the device, I will start off, it has been already unpacked and set up, so I don't have to do that on the video, but their experience is going to be basically the same. So I just pop it open, and you can see right here, this is the box that it comes in. Nothing really special here, just a typical box. There we go. Now on the top of the cover, there's nothing here, so I just drop that somewhere. Then there is the device itself. There we go. So I'm gonna set it on the side for now. So in the box, just the cardboard that was holding the device, sticker with email information. So here we got the SIM tool and a headphone jack from Type-C, so the conversion. Paperwork, no one really cares about that. More paperwork and a cable for charging, and it's a Type A to Type C. It's a typical cable. That's about all it was in here. And then I believe this is the brick. And there's the brick, so it's, I believe, what is it? Oh, 20 watts max. So the device supports 40 watt charging. You get half of that in the brick, which is kind of sad considering it's marketed as Pro. So let's say that's a minus for the brick. Just set that to the side. And well, let me quickly get rid of all this stuff. And let's get to the device itself. So there we go. So apparently it only flips one way, not the other. But getting straight to it, it comes with a 10.8 inch display with a resolution of 2560 by 1600 and 86.5% screen to body ratio, so fairly high. The bezels look really thin and nice actually. So if you've seen before, for instance, Samsung Galaxy S6, Tab S6, or the iPad Pro 11, and this has way slimmer bezels than any of the other devices. Then it has 280 pixels per inch, so not the densest display, but honestly I don't really mind that much. The resolution on the tablet, it's not supposed to be 4K, I don't really care for 4K, so for me this is good enough. Now what I do have a problem is this coming with an LCD display. Not really a fan of it. I would have liked to see something like a AMOLED on this, just to have that super deep blacks and just a way better image quality on this. Now let's see, this is, I don't think it's max brightness, so this is max brightness, and honestly it's kind of lackluster. I'm inside with so in direct sunlight this thing will probably be fairly hard to see, honestly. And moving on, the device has a single back camera and single front camera. So on the back you have a 13 megapixel shooter. As you can see right here, even though it looks like there's multiple sensors, the one on top it's just a flash, then there's a 13 megapixel, and that's a microphone, I believe at least. And the 13 megapixel sensor right here actually shoots at 4K 30 and 1080p 60, so you're getting a fairly decent range. And I did test it out, just a quick one, and it does record at 60 fairly decently. It does have slight stutters from time to time, so it's not as smooth as, for instance, some Samsung S20s as an example. Just a phone comparison to the phone, that's the first thing that came to my mind. But it is fairly decent. And flipping it onto the front again, you have this cutout camera right here, which you can see once you light it up. So the circle right over here. And that's just a 8 megapixel sensor that can record with a resolution of 1080p at 30 frames max. So now getting into it, the device has 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, depending on which one you go for in terms of memory. So the base model comes with 128 gigabytes and 6 gigabytes of RAM, but if you want to step it up, you will have option between 256 gigs and 512, and both of those options will come then with 8 gigabytes of RAM. And also you have the ability to expand the storage via the nano memory. So it's that super tiny little card that almost looks like a SIM card, and it's just made by Huawei, and they're, I believe, kind of overpriced and not usable in any other device apart from Huawei. So I'm not a fan of it. It's kind of annoying. There's no need for them apart from trying to add something that no one asked for. So if you have one of those, good for you. If you don't, I probably wouldn't buy one, because it's just going to be usable in that device or any other higher end Huawei device. Because for some reason only the higher end devices from Huawei use the nano memory. The lower ones, like the budget devices, will just have a simple SD card, as every other device on the market does. And then it comes with a Kirin 990, which was actually visible on the box as well, and 7250 milliamp hour battery. And it also has Android 10, which that's nice that it comes with Android 10. What isn't nice is the fact that it's lacking Google Play Store. So this device has no Play Store whatsoever. Now, I did hear that there is something that they will be adding, like giving you ability to install it somehow through some code that you will need to purchase. Although I'm not sure how legitimate that information is, so keep that in mind. At the moment of purchasing this device, there is no Play Store, and you could try to sideload it somehow. I've done it before on different devices, but they get patched up, so they don't always work. So it's kind of a luck of the draw if you get it working or not. And if you're not even interested in doing that, then, well, the device doesn't have Play Store for you at the moment. And the only thing you will have is the app gallery, which does not contain every app on the market, at least on the Play Store. For me personally, the apps that I would want, as an example, a launcher that I personally love, a smart launcher, is not accessible here, and God knows when it's gonna be here. Just a quick app the first app that I wanted to look for on the app gallery, and I couldn't find it. And then moving on, another thing, like I said, the device has a 40 watt fast charging. The brick comes with only 20 watts, so you're being skimped out on just the charging itself, unless you have a better brick from, like, I don't know, previous device. And it also supports wireless charging, which did surprise me. So you can slap that on a Qi charger, and you'll get a 15 watt fast charging. Not really sure if that's considered fast charging, but it's 15 watt wireless charging. And then those would be the specifications. Now, things that I have a problem with here. The device costs roughly $700. It's marketed as a pro device, so marketed to professionals, right? And primarily for drawing and creative work. It does support their, Huawei M Pencil, I think it's called. It has built-in wireless charging for that pencil. The display is designed for that pencil. The pencil doesn't come with it. That's another $100. It's like buying a gaming computer without a graphics card. What's the point? Now, personally, I do not condone such a marketing techniques. It just seems so scammy, and I literally despise this. So if you like this device, good for you. Personally, the only thing that is appealing to me in it is just the overall aesthetics of it with the tiny bezels. But if I have to choose, I would go with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6, which comes with a pen, costs roughly the same amount, and even if it would cost more, I would prefer to pay that more and be sure that my device comes with a pen that it's supposed to, that was marketed with, rather than have to buy it separately because I don't know what. And just as an example, if you're buying a Pro device like this, you expect a pen. If you're not getting it, I would expect to not be paying for features that I won't be, for instance, using unless I buy the pen. So the display, like I said, has additional components to it, so it supports that pen. It has the wireless charging specifically for that pen. It's not just a back wireless charging, it's like on the side specifically for the pen that you can magnetically attach to it. If you're not planning to buy the pen, you're paying for stuff that you won't ever use and you're not getting anything out of it. So you're paying extra for something that you don't get. And honestly, I just despise this kind of marketing. Other than that, the device works fine. Like I said, if you can live without the Play Store, you should be fine. If you're planning to do creative work, I can't really say how the pen even works because it's not like it came with it. I did test the Samsung version of it, which did come with a pen, and it worked outstandingly. This I have no idea. It's a creative tablet that I can't really test because it doesn't come with the part that I need to test it. So if you're not planning to go for creative work on it and you just want a decent tablet, it does work fairly well. Although it doesn't have the OLED display or AMOLED. Samsung, for instance, does. The Apple iPad also, I think, has an LCD, and just as I'm basically bringing those three specific devices, the Apple, Huawei, and Samsung, because they're roughly the same thing. They try to do the exact same thing. All are marketed to creators. All have generally similar specifications, similar resolutions of the displays and size of them. They only vary in maybe inch or two at max. So the only thing you're looking at is the brand and the aesthetic of the device, and the inclusion of a pen in terms of Samsung, because Apple also doesn't include theirs, and it costs about the same as the Huawei. But yeah, apart from that, if we skip all the missing parts that I feel kind of are lacking in here and should be, the device works fine. If we look at it as a standalone device, I still would say that it's a little bit overpriced. In this case, it's Huawei. I would expect it to be cheaper in this case. It does come with a Kirin 990, but you're paying for stuff that I don't really, in this case, want or need if I'm not going to be using creative work. And in this case, I could go probably for something cheaper that does the job as well as this. And like I said, the Samsung comes at the same price and is basically the same thing, if not even better in certain cases. Now, both of them will have different upsides and downsides, so keep that in mind. If you're a fan of Huawei and you already are in their ecosystem, because they do have an ecosystem of sorts, for instance, with their laptops, you have the Huawei Share, then probably this will be a no-brainer for you. You can go for it and you will get better experience with this than you would get with any other device. But if this is your first device, I would probably stay away from it. So that would conclude the overview of this device. So if you found this video helpful in any way, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.